All right, welcome to another installment of Math Basics, Mr. Best. We're still solving systems of equations, this time part 3, the multiplication method, also known as finding our least common multiples. And the goal of this is to eliminate when we're all said and done. So let's get to it. Again, we have to have our two equations as we start here. Now, here is the goal of the multiplication method. Clearly, neither one of my equations is solved for a specific variable, so I can't substitute like I did in part 1 video. And secondly, if I add these two equations as is, neither of the x or y terms will cancel. So I can't do the elimination method right off the bat. So now what I have to do is I have to use the multiplication method. To do this, you need to choose what do you want to get rid of. Do you want to get rid of x or do you want to get rid of y? So let's say I want to get rid of x. Well, notice, in my first equation, the coefficient in front of x is a 3. Now in my second equation, the coefficient in front of x is a minus sign. That means that it's -1. You want to ask yourself, what could you multiply the entire second equation by so that you made a new equation, because that's our goal, that when you added it to the first equation, the x values would go away. So what do you add to positive 3 to make 0x? And that would be -3x. So since this guy's already -1, I would have to multiply all three terms by 3. So let's see this in action. Now notice what I did here in my second equations. Because my x and y values did not have a number in front of each of my variables, I placed a 1 in front just to help me out with my basic math. So now my third equation down here, this third equation I got by multiplying all three of the terms of the second equation by 3. So this became -1x here became -3x, and +1y became +3y, and +1 here became +3. Now, what do I do with this third equation? Okay, so look what happens here. Now when I add these two equations together, 3x and -2x give me +1x. The y's now cancel out. I get 0 y's. And 3 and 2 give me 5. Just like I found in the second equation, but I found 5 after rather than not before. And now since I know my y value is equal to 6, I substitute. Take either of the equations you want. I chose the first equation, 3x minus 2y equals 3. And in place of the y in parentheses, I put down 6. And now I formulate an equation. I get 3x minus 12. Note, -2 and +6 make -12, all equal to 3. So what I do now is take my first equation that I had, 3x minus 2y is equal to 3, and I have to add it to my newly formed third equation, which is -3x plus 3y equals 3. Now top to bottom, x's cancel each other out. I get 0x and they're gone. -2y and +3y give me +1y. And 3 and 3 add up to be 6. So now 1y equals 6, or simply y equals 6. And this makes for a very easy equation to solve. Add 12 to both sides, as I done here. Divide both sides by 3. And now when it's all said and done, I get an x value being equal to 5. All right, so when we're all said and done here, x has to equal 5 and y has to equal 6 to make both of my original equations true. And this is my solution to my system of equations. So you think I'm done, right? Well, hold on a second. What if you were the person with my original two equations that said, I want to get rid of y and not x? Okay, let's take a look at that scenario as well. Now here's my original two equations that I started with in the first place. Now remember before, I multiplied the second equation, everything here by 3 to get rid of x. But what if you were that person that said, I wanted to get rid of y's? No worries, you get the same answer. Because now if I want to get rid of my y values here, I have negative 2y on the top and positive 1y on the bottom. That would mean that I'd have to multiply everything here by 2. So that it assures me that when I add these two together, I get 0y. So now I'm going to do it. So negative 1x times 2 gives me negative 2x. Positive y times 2 gives me positive 2y. And 1 times 2 gives you 2. Now I'm going to take the first equation and this new third equation that I have here and add them together. Now when I substitute this time and put the 5 in place of x and I simplify my equation, this becomes 15 here because 3 times 5 makes positive 15. Now notice my little switcherama here when I rewrite my equation. Negative 2y first plus 15 equals 3. It just helps me when I solve my two-step equation. All right, I'm in my home stretch here, solving a two-step equation. Take 15 away from both sides is going to give me negative 12 over here on the right. And when I divide both sides by negative 2, I'm going to get my y value equal to 6, just like I did the last time. Remember, the first time I did this, I eliminated my x's, and I got the y value first, and then I got my x value. This time, I eliminated my y's. I got x first. Now I get y second. And again, same solution as before. X is equal to 5, y is equal to 6. And that's that, folks. That is solving a system of equations using the multiplication method to eliminate. I hope you found this both helpful and informative.